Express, but now in need of shunting back into public ownership. Thanks in part to the recession, its business plan has hit the buffers. Our economics editor Daisy McAndrew took the train to find out why National Express has felt the strain.
These trains are following in the tracks of the proudest of transport traditions. The East Coast Main Line has been called the jewel in the railway crown. Their predecessors on this route include the Flying Scotsman, taking passengers the length of the country, uniting the nation, and yet no one seems able to continue that tradition.
So what is so very difficult about running this prestigious rail line that goes all the way up the east coast of the country from here in London to Inverness in Scotland? And why has National Express failed to make a go of it?
I think the problem is that too many rail operators have thought this is a licence to print money, because there are loads of people prepared to pay £266 return to get from Newcastle to London. Well, guess what? There are.
But when National Express took over this line at the height of the boom, they believed that good times would never end.
National Express bid £1.4 billion for the right to run this line from 2007 to 2015. That meant paying the government £200 million a year. But they thought they were going to increase their revenue by 10%. In fact, they barely managed 1%. They have been losing £100,000 a day this year. They've already lost £20 million.
But the government knows if they bail out this company, it had set a dangerous precedent. So when National Express's money runs out later this year, their franchise will be taken away and put out to tender again.
If we were to have given a bailout to just one company to put itself into difficulties like National Express, all other companies would have sought the same treatment.
Well, we're not happy about it. It's a very sad occasion. I think if we could just point out, since we've had this franchise, we took it over, it was at the bottom of the performance league table, and now it's at the top of the long-distance operators.
Well, if they're so brilliant, why are they losing the franchise? I hopped off my train at Grantham to continue my journey with rival First Hull trains to see how they compared. But oh dear, their trains were cancelled. So back on National Express to London, where guess who we bumped into?
Yes, I'm glad. I think what the government's done is exactly right, not giving to the black belt, asking for more money. This is a public service, it should remain so. I hope they keep it that way.
Well, it might not be just wishful thinking. National Express isn't the only franchise perilously close to being handed back to the government. And ministers are clear, there will be no bailout for any of them. Daisy McAndrew, News at 10.
Well, as the East Coast Main Line service heads back into public hands, Royal Mail will be staying in public ownership. Lord Mandelson thought he would be able to sort out the problems of inefficiency and a huge pension deficit with outside investment. But many in the Labour Party didn't like that.